Hello everybody, my name is Joy and welcome back to The Deed. Now we still got a few people to frame, but this time luckily the maid and the butler are off the hook. So I'm gonna let her take my coat and be super nice to them. And I've been busy, blah blah blah. Okay, so first order of business is I do need to talk to George, to our butler. So I'm gonna be asking him a few questions. What can I do for you? You seem quite distressed about something. I do? Well, I'm sure there's nothing you should trouble yourself with, sir. Your concerns are my concerns, George. We've known each other for many years. If something is troubling you, I want to hear about it. If you insist, sir. Ever since the new maid arrived, I feel like I'm being nudged towards early retirement. She's obviously being trained to become the new housekeeper. She's taking over my responsibilities one by one. I have tried discussing the matter with your mother, but it's no use. She hasn't been herself lately. But please don't trouble about yourself, sir. I probably shouldn't have said anything at all. So the new maid is something of a bully then? What's wrong with my mother? No, you shouldn't have... Okay. What's wrong with my mother? In what way is my mother not herself? Ever since your sister condition has become worse, your mother has become rather cold and withdrawn. Your sister has gone through difficult spells before, but it has never affected your mother quite like this. There is a darkness that I have never seen in her before. I should say no more. Please excuse me, sir. Okay then, so that's what we wanted to take out of George. Oh, get out. So now we're gonna have a little chat with the maid and ask how my mother has been treating her. You know, I think it's quite hard actually to frame the mother because she's quite frail. She already said she had trouble getting up from her chair and, you know, was afraid she would ache her neck talking to me. No, this is not where I want to go. I want to go to the kitchen. I want to talk to the maid. So I'd imagine that it would be quite difficult to frame her. But luckily I got a few instructions. I'm still using the guide, by the way. It's not an extremely detailed description, but it's somewhat pushing me in the right direction. I want to ask you something about our time here. Does my mother treat you well? She has a habit of falling on bad terms with the servants. I can't imagine why. She has been an absolute delight to work for. She even increased my salary when your sister's condition deteriorated and I had to provide some care for her. Not every employee would have done that, so I'm extremely grateful. I'm only worried that Jennifer's strange outburst caused your mother too much stress. More than once I have heard her swear that she can't take it anymore. I'm sorry, I must get back to work now. I'll ring the bell when dinner is ready. Okay. Let's see, so... I believe now I'm supposed to take a look at Mama. Because I remember Mama had a diary. Let's see, should I do that first? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to the diary first. Take your mother's diary. Are you sure you want to take the diary? Yes, I'm sure. I want it. You snatch your diary and with your back turned to your mother, you have a quick leaf through. In recent pages, you write about the difficulties in caring for someone with your sister's condition and how she wishes it would all end. Oh my, poor mother. You realize this could look quite incriminating out of context. You remove the last 2 pages from the diary and then place it back where it was. Okay, so evil old me got the pages. Do I speak with Mama? I don't know if that's necessary. Let me look. No. Okay, now it's not telling me anything about that, so I maybe shouldn't. Let's see, but what I do know I need to grab is the candle. One of your mother's prized golden candlesticks sits at the center of the table. It certainly would make for an elegant traditional murder weapon. Okay, let's take that. Yes, give me that. You take the heavy candlestick and conceal it in your purse, and hopefully nobody will miss it at dinner time. Okay then. Okay. Again, a bell invites me. It's time for dinner. So apparently during dinner I'm supposed to just be Mr. Nice Guy and stick up for George and just be, you know, apologetic and not accept dessert, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Have you seen the golden candlestick we usually leave on the dinner table? I think it was earlier today, madam. Have a look in the pantry later, would you? It's terribly valuable. Yes, madam. Pour me some more wine. Yes, madam. But madam... Oh, what is it, George? I must protest. It has always been my duty to pour the wine at dinner. Oh well, I don't want to cause any trouble. Nonsense. What does it matter, George? Stop being overly pedantic. But Come on, let George pour the wine. It's his job. You stay out of it, boy. Your mother wants the girl to pour the damn wine. Interfering little rat. Why can't you... Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I must have had too much wine myself. Okay, let's skip to that. Anyway, let's not forget why we're here today, to celebrate your father's birthday. Such a very important occasion. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Okay, so now it's time to be doing the deed. So what I need to do is... Now's the time to quickly plant any of the items. Yes, I know. I need to plant the pages in the master bedroom, I believe, and then whack the other girl over the head with the candlestick. At least that's what I presume. Your parents' room has not changed in years. It remains a frozen time capsule of a childhood you would sooner forget. Alright then, so let's do... Oh, sorry, I keep hitting my microphone. They tell me that Jennifer's condition is likely to only get worse. I don't know how I can go on this way. Sometimes I wish she had never been born. And it goes on. Yes, these 2 pages alone should raise some suspicions about your mother. Yes, let's place it here. You decide to place them in the wardrobe. That should be easy enough for the police to find. Okay then. So, now let's whack her sister over the head. I feel kind of bad about this one. I mean, of course I want to save the best for last and frame Daddy as a good finale. Yes, I want to enter. Yes, okay, now is the time. Candlestick. Whack her over the head. Creeping up behind your sister, you take up the candlestick and feel its weight in your hand. Somehow it feels heavier now that you're about to make use of it. Raising it high above your head, you bring it down with some force on the back of her head. It is enough. She slumps noisily to the floor in front of you. Blood seeping from a head wound. Hold on. Okay. I normally would go to my mother, but I think I'm gonna go to my father now. You drop the candlestick on the ground behind the corpse. You need to get out of here before someone comes to investigate. Okay, only got 10 seconds. So if you choose the louder options, you only get a few seconds. Yes. Hello there, father. How you doing? Get away, boy. That chair is for the dog. That sounds like my deed has been discovered. The chair is for the dog? Well, I get that. I mean... Most of the dogs that I know have their own chair. Is that weird? I don't think it's weird. I love dogs. They deserve their own chair. Okay, now it's time for the interview. Let's see, what am I supposed to do during the interview? Be concerned about... Mummy. Okay, let's get to it. Later you went to speak to the maid again, which was curious. Why did you decide to visit the kitchens? To make sure my family was treating her well. I had some concerns about the way she was being treated. My family can be hard on the new staff sometimes. The 2 of you spoke about your mother. She was quick to tell you that your mother is an excellent employer. I note that you did not stop to chat with either of your parents when you arrived, which strikes me as peculiar indeed. It makes me wonder what else you were doing. Let's discuss your conversations with the butler. You spoke about your mother's recent moods, yes? Okay, he seemed worried about her. Yes, my mother was having a very hard time dealing with my sister's condition, apparently. It sounded like she had been pushed to breaking point. Interesting. Did you speak to your sister before dinner? Did I? I don't believe I did. No, I did not. No, I did not see Jennifer until dinner. Very well then. Let's move on to the events that took place during dinner. I understand there was an argument involving the butler. Let's see, what do I do? Okay, I'm just gonna go with this one. It doesn't really say anything about them. I was with my father in the library. I was in the library. Yes, that's what your father told me. As I said earlier, we have completed our initial search of the property. During our search, we discovered some pages from your mother's diary. It seems that she was having a hard time dealing with your sister's condition. In some places, she even seemed to wish for her death. Does that surprise you? Yes, I'm lost for words. I am curious about the murder weapon. I understand the candlestick used in the attack belonged to your mother. It is all very interesting. I will be completely honest with you now, Mr. Bruce. While some of your behavior this evening has been peculiar, I can find no cause for any significant suspicion. Sadly, I'm forced to regard your mother as the primary suspect in this. Given the weapon that was used, obviously, suicide is not a realistic possibility. Now, as for what happens next, you can go for now, but I would appreciate if you would not leave town, blah-de-blah-de-blah. I will need to arrest your mother. Poor mother. Oh no. We framed our own mother. Poor dear. Although the inspector harbored his own suspicions about you, your mother was treated as the prime suspect in the case. The evidence you had planted against her led to a trial and a swift conviction. She would be spending her life in prison for a crime she did not commit. Your father, beset by grief, turned to drink and wallowing. He died within a year, and you inherited everything. See, a happy ending after all. Dunshill House was yours, along with the fortune that came with it. However, George and Sophia found themselves unable to continue serving the place after what happened. As you spent many long, sleepless nights wandering through the rooms of the house, you found that its emptiness was reflected within yourself. You had become hollow inside, free of everything but the nightmares that continued to haunt you. Yep, and that's the way to frame your mama. So there is one more person I can frame, and this is going to be particularly fun for me. Alright, so this is quite the complicated one, to be honest. Like, there's a huge description about it, but the other ones were rather more like a directional type of walkthrough. Well, this one is pretty detailed, so I have to keep my coat. No, I think I will keep my coat. Are you sure, Mr. Aaron? It looks soaked through. Quite sure. You're new here, aren't you? Sophia's my name. Okay. Alright, apparently this part is optional, but I can talk to the maid, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, because every little bit helps, doesn't it? So, Mr. Aaron, I wanted to ask you something about your time here. How do you deal with my father's temper, that old bastard? I'm concerned that my father's bad temper doesn't seem to have improved much over the years. Does he give you much abuse? I wouldn't call it abuse. He can certainly be a demanding employer, but there's nothing wrong with that. I'm very grateful to have his position. I'm sorry, I must get back to work now. Okay. Alright. So now I have to go ahead and speak with father, wish him a happy birthday. But even then, there's a few more things I have to ask him. So, let's do that. Let's have a chat. I'll be standing right behind you. Hello, father. Your father remains silent for several moments, and a chill seems to pass through the library. When he finally speaks, it is in a quiet and bitter tone. You told me you never enter this house again, boy. Why are you here? Okay, so, wish him a happy birthday. I want to put all that unpleasantness behind us and wish you a happy 50th birthday. You honestly think this is a happy day for me? Another day when I can watch my life's work crumble into nothing. Another day to see our bloodline slit its own throat. You know how to make me happy. Move back to Dunshill, take your proper place and do your damn duty. Okay. I refuse to move back here and suffer your abuse. Move back to Dunshill so you can insult and torment at your whim as you always have done. Not likely, father, not in 100 years. You still haven't learned to watch your mouth, have you? You're the same snot-nosed brat you always were. Obviously, I didn't give you enough discipline as a child. Oh, you beat me plenty, I remember. You gave me dozens of beatings, father. I remember every single one of them. Did you ever consider trying another method, perhaps? Not for a moment. You were always a snide little weasel. The best I could do was to beat some of it out of you. You should be thanking me for it, not trying to condemn me. I think I've heard enough from you. Okay, get out of here. Very well, then. Pleasant conversation with you. So now I'm supposed to talk to Mama. And I'm not going to be too friendly with her either. Please tell me you aren't here to cause trouble. Trouble is all that you deserve. I'm not about to pretend that we're a happy, normal family. We never have been. If you want to know I'm such a troublemaker, you need to only look in the mirror. You made me this way. I suppose I should not be surprised. You've been blaming other people all your life for your failings. Just please try not to cause any scenes while you're here. Today's about your father. Have you been up to see your sister yet? She has been through an unusually difficult time recently. So, I am supposed to ask... Yes, I'm supposed to ask how she is. You sound worried. Do you think it's serious? I've not seen her this bad in a long time. Do you remember that summer when she... with the razor in the bathroom? Yes, I remember. That was the last time I remember seeing her like this, so yes, to answer your question, I am worried. Anyway, you should talk to your father if you haven't. Wish him a happy birthday. Okay. At least try to sound like you mean it. Alright then, very well. What's the next step? I'm sorry this has to be like a step-by-step thing, but I want to make sure that I get this one right. So... we're gonna go ahead and pay our sister a little visit. How are you feeling? It's not very specific about this, so I'm just gonna have to guess. How have I been? What an odd little thing. No one just says squeak squeak. Yes, I know, you crazy cunt. $73. He asked about her mirror collection. Now she has 73. Can you use all of them at once? Of course not. What a silly question. Are you making fun of my mirrors, little rat? You better not be. Go away. I don't want to speak to you anymore. Okay then. Okay then, darling. So now I'm supposed to trigger this. So this was the use of these memories. You look at your reflection in the mirror. Funny. You don't look like a murderer. There we go. Mother says dinner is ready. Go away, little rat. Jennifer, what are you doing? Why do you stare at your own reflection like that? Stop making fun of me. I'm not making fun, I really want to know. I just wish that... What, Jennifer, what do you wish? I wish you would go drown in a lake. Mother is waiting for you. Alright then. I'm sorry if I'm rereading a lot of this dialogue that I've already visited in the first episode, but I don't want these episodes to just be step 1, step 2, step 3. I actually want to try and get involved in the story a little bit. Obsession with mirrors goes right back to her childhood. I never did understand why. Well, okay then. Yes, now I'm supposed to gather the murder weapon. It remains a frozen time capsule. I forgot where it was. Let's see, jewelry. You get down on all fours and peek underneath your parents' bed, but find nothing under there. I forgot where it was. Ah, it's only once you slide the top drawer open that you remember this is where your father keeps his shotgun. The shiny barrel almost seems to call you. Guns are certainly noisy, but efficient weapons. Take the shotgun. Remember, yes, I can. You grab the shotgun to conceal it in the inside of your long coat. Having such a powerful weapon on your person makes you feel almost godlike. Okay, good, good, good. Let the hate flow through you, mister. What's his name again? I forgot the name of the guy I'm playing as, but okay, so what am I supposed to do? I've got the shotgun. I've talked to everyone I needed to talk to, I believe. See, is there anything else? It's just an old chair. Oh, another memory. Oh, that might be in handy. We haven't seen this one yet, I believe. Georgette, you wanted to see me, Mother? Yes. Your sister will not be returning to St. Mary this year, Aaron. Her condition has become too serious. I see. Have you nothing to say besides that, Aaron? No, nothing. This is precisely what I wanted to talk to you about. This silly feud with your sister must stop. Why do you think her condition keeps getting worse? Perhaps it's because you refuse to even acknowledge her. She killed Henry. For heaven's sake, Aaron, it was only a rat. He was my friend. I should have never allowed you to keep it in the first place. You must blame someone. Blame me. Will you forgive your sister? Never. Very well, Aaron, you leave me no choice. I will have to speak to your father about this. Alright then. Oh, shit. I skipped that. Sorry about that. It's just very easy to skip dialogue in this game for some reason. Okay, so Mama actually turns out to be quite the bitch herself. Okay, right, the trophy case. That's what I was supposed to do. The trophy case in here. Because I can enter that without trouble. What is this actually? Oh, it's a lectern. Never mind. An assortment of family records and heirlooms are contained with this ornate glass cabinet. I don't know. Of course you do. Use that hat for once, boy. Great Uncle Thomas? What initials do you see on that silverware? CB. And what kind of half-wit spells Thomas with a C? I don't know. Well, I do. It's the kind of half-wit that's standing next to me. Now, which one of your ancestors owned that silver chalice? If you get this one wrong, boy, there will be serious consequences. I'll say one thing for my father. His style of parenting has always been consistent. Okay, then. So, now, what am I supposed to do? I've looked at all the stuff I needed to do. Okay, I'm supposed to grab the leather claws, however you pronounce that, from my father's thing, like the thing he used for a whip. There it is. Quietly open the top drawer of the desk and take a look inside. Filled with his memorabilia. The cruel leather tools your father used to beat you when you were a child. Perhaps if you planted it in the right place, it might raise questions. Take the leather tools. Yes, I'm sure. See, that's all I had to do, right? Okay, yeah, that's true. You grab the tools, the texture of which brings back unpleasant memories. You quickly hide it on your person and close the drawer. Again, a bell invites me. There's time to dinner, it seems. Okay, dinner is served. Okay, so I'm supposed to be Dick to Dad. That's what I'm supposed to do. Oh shit, come on! Why do you make me do this? Oh, I hate that so much. No, stop it! Oh god, I'm fucking this up majorly. Shit. Okay, I hope not. I did not. Oh, come on. I hope that didn't matter that much. I hope that conversation part did not matter so much. Alright, so I'm going to save my game here. It recommends me to do so, so... Okay, I've saved the game. It really recommends me to do so, so I guess I will. I need to put everything in the drawing room. Okay. Let's do this. Put the toss. When your father used to beat you, he never even repeated the old cliché. This hurts me more than it hurts you. Do you want to plant this item of evidence in this room? Yes, I do. Okay. Now what? Yep, I'm gonna blow her. And apparently I need to hurry the hell up. Well, go ahead, kill her. Your sister doesn't seem to notice the audible click as you turn off the safety and aim the shotgun squarely at the back of her head. You know your father always keeps it ready and loaded. As you pull the trigger, the kick surprises you, but your aim is true enough. The shot impacts the back of her head and blood sprays on the opposite wall. You drop the shotgun on the ground. Someone will be here very soon, surely. You don't have much time to escape this room. Oh god, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Uh-oh. Did you hear that, Mr. Aaron? Oh shit, I'm in the hallway. I hope that didn't screw me over. I only had 3 seconds for that, oh my. Okay. Now it's up to the interview. Now it's just up to the interview. I hope things will still be fine even though I screwed up dinner. She told me that you refused to give her your coat and she found that quite peculiar. This is the maid he was talking about. I wasn't sure how long I would be staying. There's a spider on my light. Well, that's fine. I thought I might have to leave soon. In this weather, Mr. Bruce, that seems quite unlikely. Later, you went to speak to the maid again, which is curious. Why did you decide to visit the kitchen? Okay. to make sure my family was treating her well. Yes, I wanted to be sure he wasn't abusing her. My father has a vicious temper. I wanted to make sure he wasn't making her life miserable. I see. Has he always had a temper? Yes, always. Later on, you had a conversation with your mother, Gloria, in the parlor. According to your mother, you were quite unpleasant towards her, but she says that is not unusual. She says you spoke briefly about your sister. Apparently, you seemed quite concerned about her well-being. We were worried my sister might attempt suicide. My mother and I were concerned that my sister may try to take her own life. She had attempted once before. You went to see your father in the library, became quite heated. My father has always had a temper. My father has a very short fuse. Many of our conversations go that way. Would you say he has a violent temper? Absolutely. I see, that's good to know. You discussed the prospect of you moving back to Dunshaugh. You refused to do so under any circumstances, I understand. Well, of course, I'd made my life elsewhere. Of course not, that's completely understandable. Did you speak to your sister before dinner? Yes, I did. Yes, I went to her room to see her. We discussed her illness and her obsessions. I was aware that she was going through a particularly difficult time. Did she seem distressed to you? She was not in a good place mentally speaking. Okay. During dinner. Oh shit, come on. Oh no. Any particular reason? Not really, my family and I just have that sort of relationship. I see. Oh damn, I screwed up majorly because of this clicking mechanism. I was on the ground floor. Foyer, library, parlor. What's the foyer? I'm not sure what the foyer is. It's not the library or parlor. I'm just gonna go. Yes, the maid mentioned seeing you in there, but that does put you quite close to the scene of the murder, I'm afraid. As I said earlier, blah blah blah. I'm curious about the murder weapon. The shotgun which was used to murder your sister was owned by your father. Obviously, he knew how to use it. However, this could have been a suicide. It's hard to say. It's all very interesting. Your behavior this evening has given me cause for suspicion. Also, I must regard your father as a suspect, even though the evidence is far from conclusive. The possibility of suicide must be considered, though I am personally unconvinced. I'm going to ask you to accompany me to the station. Am I under arrest? Not currently, unless you want it that way. I think we'll have some more questions for your father later. It is possible an inquest might return a verdict of suicide. We'll see. Well, what is this gonna do? What is this gonna mean? You and your father were both taken in for questioning, and you did your best to convince them of your innocence and of your father's guilt. However, the police soon discovered that you had an obvious motive. You wanted your sister dead. From that moment on, you were the prime suspect. The trial was a long and difficult one. Finally, the jury found you guilty of the crime. You were given a life sentence for the murder of your sister and will be spending the rest of your life sleeping behind bars. In your dank little cell, there was nowhere to hide or escape from the nightmares when they came. The deed itself had taken possession of your soul, and perhaps this was her final revenge. Okay, so I did screw up, so I'm gonna have to very meticulously go through the steps by myself, and I will get back to you as soon as I have. Okay, I forgot that I had a save here, so I did screw up dinner, but I can... Yes, I can now do this. Alright, I'm gonna shoot my sister. Made it. Did you hear that, sir? I made it in time now, so this might make all the difference. Okay, I was in the storage room next door when my sister was killed. That's right, George did mention to me that you were in there with him. As I said earlier, we have completed our initial search of the property. Okay. I'm curious about the murder weapon. Maybe this might make the difference. While some of your behavior this evening has been peculiar, I can find no cause for any significant suspicion. Also, I must regard your father as a suspect, even though the evidence is far from conclusive. Despite any question marks about your mother, I don't think for a moment she did this. The possibility of suicide must be considered, but I'm personally unconvinced. You can go for now, but I would appreciate if you did not leave town. For your father, it's possible an inquest might return a verdict of suicide. We'll see. Okay, let's see how this is gonna go. Because right now I'm not being taken into questioning, and that's the big difference. Although the inspector harbored suspicions about you, you were not brought in for further questioning. Your father was taken in for questioning and initially became the prime suspect, but it was determined there was not sufficient evidence to lead to an arrest. Damn it, you had gotten away with murder, it seemed. However, you had not given them sufficient reason to suspect anyone else either. Okay. This is the same ending we've had before. So I'm actually gonna have to redo what I just did and not screw up dinner. So I'll be right back. Alright, now I did everything according to the list. So this should lead to something better. The shotgun which was used to murder your sister was owned by a father. Obviously, he knew how to use it. This could have been a suicide. I will be completely honest with you, Mr. Bruce. I can find no fault or suspicion in your behavior leading up to your sister's death. Of course not. I'm an upright, good individual. Also, I must regard your father as a suspect, even though the evidence is far from conclusive. The possibility of a suicide must be considered. What happens next? I'm free to go. Although I think I will have some more further questions for your father later. Is it possible that an inquest might return a verdict of suicide? We'll see. We'll see indeed. Since you had given the police no reason to suspect you, your father quickly became the prime suspect in the case and was arrested shortly afterwards. The trial was long and not without controversy, but eventually the jury returned a guilty verdict. In prison, your elderly father's health deteriorated swiftly and he died within a year. Your grief-stricken mother died soon after. Dunshill House was yours, along with the fortune that came with it. However, George and Sophia found themselves unable to continue serving in the place after what happened. After you spent many long sleepless nights wandering through the rooms of the house, you found that its emptiness was reflected within yourself. You had become hollow inside, free of everything but the nightmares that continue to haunt you. Alright, I guess there is no actual good ending where I end up completely scot-free from, from the feelings of guilt, but I have framed just about anyone in the game right now, and I don't believe there were any others. Nope, I already managed to get arrested myself, so I don't believe there is much more to discover in that regard. If you do know something about this game that I haven't discovered yet, please let me know down in the description. I would love to know more about this. So anyway, I'm gonna thank you for watching. I will leave a bunch of links down in the description if you want to play this game for yourself, which I definitely recommend. It is fun to mess around with, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!